And let me tell you, I'm not conceited, I'm just convinced. Listen, I'm so modest, I can admit my own fault. And my only fault is I don't realize how great I really am.
Gen Y, Gen X, Millennials, Generation Me, Generation Internet. You know who you are. You've been crushed, hit hard by this economy.
So if you're dealing with college debt, maybe you're even trying to move out of your parents' house or start a new business. Look, the only way you're going to be able to do that is to be able to produce and to get people to pay you what you're worth.
I'm fighting for your generation. I'm not counting you out. I believe in you. We're here to give young hustlers the advice and tools they need to succeed in the 21st century.
Hey, welcome. It is Thursday. It is noon East Coast Standard Time. This is Young Hustlers coming to you live from the studio in Miami Beach. Welcome to the show. Every Thursday we come here. I'm here by myself today, but usually I got my counterpart, Mr. Grant Cardone. We come here to want to give you some data, some good information, some tips, some strategies on what you can do to break out of the pack, on how to get ahead, on how to crack the code to creating some success, getting the job that you want, getting the career, getting the income, getting the raise, getting the bonus, getting the deal, getting the customer, right? Getting all those things that you want. So look, despite what everybody tells you about millennials in the media, I think we got a pretty good thing going here. I'm actually, and I don't know about how you guys feel about this. We're all millennials here. Dude, I actually think that the millennial generation has the capability of being the strongest generation in history. Because we had to overcome so much adversity, right? All the job thing, the economy thing, the education thing, the college debt thing. Dude, we had to overcome all this stuff. And still we rise. So look, I've got a show today I called Get Your Head Right. So the purpose of this show really is to help folks out there who are maybe in sort of a weird transition space, and maybe they're trying to find the right job. Maybe they're in a job and they don't really know they don't have a lot of purpose with what they're doing. So I want to talk about what you can do to get your head right. And the first thing you can do to get your head right is you can go to grantcardone.com/YH. grantcardone.com/YH. You can start by getting your head right by getting yourself a Young Hustlers hat. Whoo! You like that little plug there? Get yourself a Young Hustlers hat, man. We just got to order a massive order of them in. We had probably half of them pre-sold before they even got here. So make sure you guys stop by the store and get that. So we're talking about getting your head right. Why is it important to get your head right? Look, man, 50% of 25-year-olds are still living at home with mom and dad. Now, I think I was out of the house at 23. 23, I moved out. But, looking at all this, the data, I was reading a Forbes article. 44% of college grads in their 20s are stuck in low-wage, dead-end jobs, which is the highest rate in decades. And then the number of young people making less than $25,000 a year has spiked to the highest level since the 90s. Since the 90s, man. So, dude, what does that tell you? It just tells you that a lot of people out there may feel like they're getting stuck. I want to give a quick shout-out to the folks that have jumped on here. Jeff, thanks for the show. Appreciate you. Thanks for showing up. Appreciate you coming on. Mr. Joe. And Yitzi, thanks for joining. We got some callers already too. We'll get to you guys in a minute. But dude, what does this mean? It means that there's more to do, and in order to get through, in order to penetrate, you got to get your head right. So I've got 4 things you can do to get your head right. Number 1, dude, you got to prepare. You got to prepare for war, man. You got to prepare for the hardest thing you're ever going to do in your life. You got to bust your ass. Number 2, you have to be willing to fail over and over and over again. and then get up and keep swinging. Number 3, you have to get clear on finding the right vehicle. We'll talk about that more in a minute. And then number 4, dude, you got to skill up at all costs. So look, there's a lot of discouraging information out there. And man, I just got to tell you, I disagree with a lot of it. They say that the job market's abysmal and that, all these dead-end jobs. This is 44% of college grads say they're stuck in low-wage, dead-end jobs. Dude, I got millennials here that'll make over $300,000. This is not a dead-end job. But what it does require you to do is freaking bust your ass. See, you've been served up this message of, go to college, get a good job, go to college, get a degree, and you're going to get such a good job that you're going to be able to pay off your debt. You're going to get a $60,000 or $70,000 or $80,000 a year job out of college. Everything's going to be great. You're going to be able to buy a house and build the American dream. It's bull, man. It's bull. We've been sold a lie. And the only way that you can break through is to freaking bust your ass. And that's what the guys in the sales office do over here. So if you're in a dead-end job, you're probably one of the folks who shows up at 9 a.m. when the office opens, and you leave at 5 p.m. when the office closes. And then you go out and you do your own life, your own thing, and you kind of meander through life, and you wonder, man, how come it's not going anywhere? So, dude, the first step of getting your head right is understanding to get anywhere you want to go. Dude, you got to freaking push, man. You got to push. You got to go all out. I used the example the other day. It's like, you're in a sprint, like the 100-yard dash or whatever that little, is that what they call it, the 100-yard dash? Okay, so dude, you're freaking going all out, right? And then you get to the finish line, and most of those guys, they let up, they stop running, and they slow down, they kind of jog it out, right? But the way I view it is, a lot of people feel like they're in that sprint, and then they let up, and then they're like, oh man, there's like 50 more laps to this race. And so they have this idea that they're going to be going all out. They're going to hit something, the finish line, and then they're going to be able to pull up, and then it's going to get a lot easier. The truth is, dude, you have to sprint the whole way through the marathon. So you got to get your head right, and you got to get it wrapped around that. The job that you want to get will be exponentially harder to get than you think it is. Okay, the client that you want to get, the raise that you want to get, dude, you have to expect that it's going to be 10 times harder, 100 times harder to get these things than what you're currently operating with right now. When we come back from the break, I'll dig into 2, 3, and 4. We'll see it. Young.
Leave a mark in your neighborhood with a lasting impression. A professional landscape can deliver that and more. And the man to bring it to you is Steve Griggs. Awarded the National Best of Hows in Client Satisfaction in 2016, it's clear why Steve Griggs is the #1 visual artist in landscape design. With 30-plus years of experience, dynamic energy, and the true New Yorker spirit, Steve Griggs brings flexibility and innovation to his craft. With clients such as Dr. Oz and the Palisades Center Mall in West Neck, Steve Griggs crafts and delivers a brilliant landscape plan offering top value to guarantee your backyard oasis at a fair price. Landscaping can increase a home's value 15 to 20% with a return on that investment from 100 to 200%. Steve Griggs treats every client to a transparent, step-by-step, hands-on process from concept to design and implementation. When Steve Griggs promises, he delivers. As a member of the American Society of Landscape Architects, combined with his years of formal training and experience, your landscape will be transformed from ordinary to extraordinary. This isn't landscape design, this is lifestyle design. For more information, visit stevegriggsdesign.com. That's stevegriggsdesign.com. Repairing credit takes time, it takes energy, and it takes resources. With so many options to repair your credit, how do you get started? At Safe Credit Solutions, our #1 priority is to create a plan for you to repair your credit effectively. Our goal at Safe Credit Solutions is to provide immediate and ethical service to ensure your credit score rises and you can get qualified for the things you want in your life. Safe Credit Solutions has a credit portal for its clients to track progress and keep you involved and in control of your credit repair. Clients have been known to see results as soon as 30 to 45 days from starting. Visit safecreditsolutions.com. That's safecreditsolutions.com to get started and have one of our FICO certified consultants start the process on your credit repair. That's safecreditsolutions.com. Today's world is digital, and every business, if they want success and expansion, must learn to thrive in this digital environment. Snowbot serves you, your company, and your business to help you develop software that will optimize your revenue, attract more customers, and increase your website conversions. With offices in Helsinki, Eastern Europe, and Tokyo, Snowbot focuses on web development, mobile app development, and design. To get your business thriving in this digital landscape, let us provide all the solutions needed to increase your conversion, keep attention, and grow your business. Visit snowbot.net. That's snowbot.net to get started right now.
Dude, if you want to get your head right, dude, you're at the place. You're at the place. This is Young Hustlers. Every Thursday we come here, Grant Cardone, myself, we come here, we give you information so that you can maybe get that little bit of an extra edge that you need to get ahead in life. I know that following Grant's information completely changed my life, and so I hope that I'm able to impart a little bit of that here on the show today. And we're talking about getting your head right, and there's 4 things that you have to do. We already covered them in the beginning here. Prepare to bust your ass, be willing to fail, get clear on the right vehicle, and then skill up at all costs. So the second thing that you have to do is you have to be willing to push, persist, and even fail. So the first step is you got to understand how hard it's going to be to do this, and that means you're going to run into failure, right? That means that that things aren't always going to turn out the way that you want them to. I read a statistic that 80% of the available jobs today aren't even listed. They're not listed publicly anywhere. Dude, how you got to find those jobs? You got to pick up the phone. You got to start calling. You got to start emailing. You got to start reaching out. You got to start networking. You got to start actually doing some freaking work to get the job that you want. Because like I said in the first segment, dude, we have great jobs here. We have great jobs here for people who are willing to come in and freaking throw down and put it all out on the line. And the truth is there's not a shortage of great jobs. There's just a shortage of people pushing hard enough to find them. So don't get caught up in that trap. So you need to be prepared to fail if you want to find the right thing, okay? And what I mean by that is you got to be willing to make the phone calls and get rejected. You got to be willing to show up at the office and get rejected, because now's the time where you can afford to fail, right? You got your whole freaking life to make up for this. If you take the wrong job, who cares? Dude, I got stuck in this mindset that every job that I went to, it had to be the job that I was going to be with the rest of my career. I had this idea in my head that was just the plan. You were supposed to get a job and stay there forever until you retired. And so after the first time that I had a job and it didn't work out, it was oh my gosh, I felt this defeat. But you have to have the right expectations with every opportunity that you move, that moves you forward. So if you're not reaching out and you're not willing to fail, you're going to find yourself in the same spots. You're going to find yourself on the Indeed. You're going to find yourself on the Career Builder, seeing the same jobs getting recycled up, the same incestuous battle, torture, overcrowded field, trying to get through people that are all freaking. Dude, they're all playing for the same. They're all playing for the same goal and the same game and the same piece of the pie, dude. You gotta open up, and you gotta freaking go out there and be willing to fail and identify the company you want to go work for, and then go and reach out to them, even though they don't have anything published that they're hiring. Right? You got to take some chances, man. I tell you that was one of the things that I learned in give me that. And I learned. So here's the new digs here, the new Young Hustlers hat. GrantCardone.com/Young Hustlers. GrantCardone.com/YH. Dude, you got to pick up these hats. They're awesome. So look, you just got to be willing to fail, right? You got to go and do a deal knowing that, hey, this may not be the last job I ever have in my life. And for me, I don't know. Maybe I was different, but that's so counterintuitive to everything that I thought growing up. I thought that, dude, failure meant you have this incapacity of performing. It was this you had to go make something work, and if it didn't, it meant that you weren't worth nothing. I maybe it was just because of how I raised. I don't know, but failure was a weird thing for me. And so if you can get over the failure thing, if you can get over the rejection thing, dude, it can be a powerful thing, because failure can be the best education that you get. The failure teaches you so much. The only time failure is a negative thing is if you don't learn anything from it. Every job that I failed at, Every job that I failed at, I learned something from. I got a job at a golf course, got fired, learned something there. I learned you don't freaking go bust the golf carts up, driving them over, crashing them into each other. You just don't do that. You get caught, right? You know, I got a job at a stone yard. I was like driving a forklift, moving these big pallets of stone that people were decorating their yards with. And I freaking hated that job. I stayed there for like 2 weeks. I was like dirty and sweaty every day. And I was like, oh man, this ain't for me. Retail, dude. I worked there. It didn't work out for me because I got stuck into my environment and I wasn't in the right vehicle. So like, dude, every time I did something and I failed, I learned something from it. And that really should be your driver, right? Like, no decision that you make locks you in forever, right? And failure is a good thing, but you have to be looking to learn something from it. Let's take some callers. We got a few callers. Let me just shout out some folks here on the chat. H-Inc1 Matt, Hink1 Matt. Hey guys, I'm tuning in to change my life. I don't just want to get by, I want to blow up. Dude, I freaking love that. Eugene, what's up, man? Atanis, yo. All right, so somebody asked a question here. Eugene said, how do you deal with friends and family who do not support your goals to become an entrepreneur? I'm all in, but have a hard time finding the support to keep going financially and emotionally, even when I have seen results. Is it cool to cut off parents, siblings, and friends? Yes, 100% absolutely. And in some cases, you have to do that. In some cases, the people who are closest to you, and Grant actually wrote about this in his new book, Obsessed. I read a chapter on this. Some of the people that are closest to you can actually prevent you from getting to where you want to go because they're afraid to see you fail. So they think they're being helpful and supportive by trying to make you more reasonable, more rational. And in some cases, that is actually more detrimental than the freaking all-out just hater, that's freaking trying to crush on you. So dude, in almost every case, that the answers to that is yes. Let's go to Wesley from Texas. Wesley, welcome to Young Hustlers. You there, Wesley? Hello? Is he there? There's frantically scrambling on the phone here. Put him on hold, man. Put him on hold. Okay, do you want to go to Miguel? Are we having? Okay. So look, number one, bust your ass. Number two, be prepared to fail over and over and over again, and then get back up and keep swinging. Number three, dude, you got to find the right vehicle. And we talk about this a lot. If you're looking to go the long distance, the long way, if you're looking to do something big, dude, you have to be in the right vehicle. And there's two different vehicles that you can be in, right? But you got to have a plan. You got to know why you're going into a specific vehicle. In this case, that would be job, right? You got to know why you're going in there, and you've got to have a plan. You've got to have a plan. So if I'm going into a job out of college, or I'm going into a job and I'm 10 years out of college, what is your plan? What are you looking to get? And when we get back from the break, I'm going to dig a little bit more into this. You're watching Young Hustlers on GCTV.
The fall is always the moment when you have to redefine yourself. Easy is not part of success. Easy is not part of life. When I was 33 years old, I faced the lowest point in my life. I was broke, I was battling demons of women, finances, alcohol, and drug addictions. And here I stand in front of you in the top 1% of car salesmen in the United States. Quitting was never an option for me. I keep pushing for my son, for my dreams, and what I'm attempting to create for my own life. My name is Mark Jennison, and this is the Comeback Corner. I was a millionaire twice and lost it all twice. And now I'm here to show you what it takes to come back and stand in the face of adversity, even if that adversity is yourself. This show is designed to prove that no matter how far you fall, no matter how great the defeat or failure, there's always a comeback. There's always an opportunity to redefine yourself, redefine who you are, and come back stronger, better, and faster than before.
Subscribe to my YouTube channel, youtube.com/comeback corner. That's youtube.com/comeback corner.
Handle every objection, handle every interaction, and find solutions for every sales challenge, and you will never be without work and never without money. Every Wednesday, Grant Cardone Sales Training University brings to you a live webcast designed to help you understand, learn, and know how to use the #1 online sales training platform in the world. Call in live, ask your questions, and get the answers you need to understand how to use this platform for your benefit. Reach your potential, learn the skills, grow your income, and create the life you want. Tune in every Wednesday at 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on GrantCardoneTV.com/live training. That's GrantCardoneTV.com/live training.
All right, we're back, Young Hustlers. Thursdays, noon, East Coast Standard Time. The reason we do this show, dude, is because I'm a millennial. I came to work for Grant. He's got all this great information on how to make money, on how to be successful, and I'm like, dude, I don't believe everything in the newspapers. Like every time I pulled up Elite Daily or Business Insider, there was an article about millennials being the lost generation. Nothing's ever going to happen nothing good ever's coming out of this generation. I was like, dude, this ain't true, man. I know that there are a lot of young hustlers out there trying to get out there and get paid, man. Get paid. We got them all here on the chat. We got them here on the phone lines. Today we're talking about getting your head right, dude. What do you need to do? What do you need to prepare yourself for so that you can freaking blow up? Like what can you do today that can prepare you for where you want to go? Unless you're happy with where you're at, you know, and maybe you are, and that's right. That may be the right thing for you. But dude, I'm always looking forward. Like I'm trying to think, where do I want to go? And that continues to grow and get bigger. And so that means I got to be more focused and more committed to developing myself to getting on that track. So, dude, look, the 4 things you need to do, 4 things to get your head right. Number 1, dude, you have to prepare for this freaking all-out military assault. You got to prepare to freaking bust your ass day in, day out. No weekends off. Like you got to be productive on the weekends. You got to go all in during the week. You got to be productive on the weekends. If you can find 2 extra hours of work every day, if you could find 2 extra hours of productivity every single day of the week, and you just did that Monday through Friday, at the end of the month, you would have created an extra week of production. You have 40 hours by the end of the month. Dude, that's an extra week. So, like, don't get distracted by people that say, oh, be patient, it'll come in due time. Nah, dude, you got to freaking cram it all in. Because me finding that 2 hours, 7 days a week, or that 3 hours, 7 days a week puts me in a position where I've been on the field longer, I've been in the game longer, and I'm going to get further down the road. So number 1, you got to freaking prepare to bust your ass. Number 2, you got to be willing to fail over and over and over again, knowing that you're not going to fall right into the perfect thing the first time around. You're not going to fall into the perfect job. You're not going to fall into the perfect relationship. I mean, I did. You're not going to fall into the perfect company. You're not going to have the perfect team. You're not going to have the perfect supervisor. And you got to be willing to freaking walk away and blow it up. And know that you have an opportunity to get up there and swing again. The only time you lose from failure is if you don't learn anything from it. Number 1, bust your ass. Number 2 is be willing to fail. And then number 3 is find the right vehicle. So, like, we talk about the right vehicle a lot. There's 2 reasons why you're going to go work someplace, at least me. Like, when I'm evaluating where I'm going to go work or what I'm going to do, I look at 2 things. I look at number 1, what am I going to learn here? Or number 2, how much money can I make here? Those are the only 2 things I evaluate. What am I going to learn, or how much money am I going to make? I mean, I'm not so concerned with culture. I'm not so concerned with work environment. What am I going to learn, or how much money am I going to make? Because if you're going to a job and you're going to accept money that is less than you need in order to get you on your path to hit your target, dude, you got to be learning something that's going to be worth $1 million to you. So I worked for a mortgage company for a little bit, and the money was awesome if you were producing. But the real thing that I did is I went there to freaking try to learn how to cold call. I was like, dude, I've never done this before. There's guys here that are making a ton of money, and why not? You know, this was when people were printing, doing all the, option mortgages, option arms, and, all this crazy stuff. So it was an interesting time in the mortgage business, but I wanted to go try it. I'm like, dude, I've worked in retail. I've done the golf course thing. Like, I want to try this and see if it works. And I freaking failed, man. I failed. The company actually went out of business like 2 months after I started because I was so bad. No, I'm just joking. It wasn't because of me. It was because everything was blowing up. But I remember I was like, well, that sucked. I just wasted 2 months of my life. And then I was like, no, man, dude, you learned how to get on the phone and make 600 calls in a day. Remember, we used to get these stacks of index cards with like those address stickers that you put on an envelope, and it was just like like going back and forth through all these cards. It was nuts. But I learned something, right? So get clear on what you're doing. If you're working for some place that you're like, man, I hate working here. Number one, are you learning anything? Or number two, dude, are you making money? So like another thing, when you go to a company to make money, you know, that we're talking about like getting jobs and, you know, people finding jobs on Craigslist or Indeed or wherever. And you show up and they're like, hey, man, you know, you can make 150, 180, 200, 250, whatever the deal is. When people are selling you on the money, the first thing you need to look at is who else is making that money. Who else can you show me right now that's making that money and how long have they been there? Those are the two things that I'm going through. Because I want to know who the top guy is that I got to take down, and I want to know how long that they've been there. Because I know that if I'm going someplace and I'm working somewhere, I need to either be learning something invaluable or I need to be freaking making money. And if they're telling me I could make 150 or 200 if I did everything right and nobody else is doing that yet, I'm going to be a little skeptical. I don't know, that's just me. Maybe I'm a cynic. And then number 4, dude, you got to educate yourself. You got to skill up. I read a statistic or a quote rather from the fella that runs AOL, and he said, if you are not learning on your own for an hour a day, 5 hours a week, if you're not educating yourself online, you will become non-existent. Because there's so much information out there today. There's so many places that you can go and get data and information on anything. I mean, you know, there's podcasts like this. You can get books. You can go all over the internet and find articles and blogs related to anything. I mean, super niche things that you know 10 years ago or 15 years ago might not have existed. And you got I mean, dude, it's unreal. You got YouTube. I mean, you go find videos on anything on YouTube, right? You've got like college alternatives now, like Cardone University. It's an $18,000 tuition. We're selling it right now for $995. Teaches you everything you need to know about making money. Like I know for a fact, 100%, that the 5 or 6 years, I think it was 6 years, maybe 6.5, that I spent in college, it was a long time. Dude, I learned more in Cardone University about making money than I did the entire time I was in college. So there's all these things that are available to you now that you have to get in there and you have to leverage and you have to maximize. So number 1, dude, you got to freaking bust your ass. Number 2, you got to be willing to fail. Number 3, find the right vehicle where you're either learning something invaluable or you have the opportunity to freaking hit a lick and make some money. And then number 4, dude, freaking bone up, skill up, learn every day. You graduated. Now it's time to actually learn something. Let's go to Wesley on the phones from Texas. Wesley, what's going on, man? What's up, man?
Hey, man, I called you this morning just to bust through obscurity, and the team told me that I could find you here. So,
well, you found me.
Cool. Yeah. So I just want to let everybody know I'm in the early stages of implementing everything you're saying, man. And I'm working nights, I'm doing weekends, and you know, Jarrod is absolutely right. Now, he didn't ask me to call in, but if you're looking for a big break, I signed up for Cardone University last month. Man, it's like literally changing my life. And 10X Rule, I read that book as well. Everyone that's listening to this right now, if you're just on the edge there, do it. Find the money. I didn't have the money. I signed up. I promise. Change your life. So, hey, the real reason I'm calling is I just want to let you know that I want to be the next. I'm going to be the next person Grant picks up on his 10X airline. He just doesn't know it yet.
Awesome, dude. Awesome. Well, hopefully I'm there with you.
Yeah, no, I'd love for that too. So, hey, I'm already promoting Cardone University, and it's only a matter of time. I've got a school I'm talking to them about trying to sell it as a list of their certifications. It's a career and technical program here in the city that I live.
Dude,
So,
you're the
I'm gonna
man,
tell
bro.
you,
See,
Sam,
guys,
I don't even work for you guys.
Wesley's an example of what you got to do. Wesley's an example of somebody who's gone out there. He's already freaking got number one in. He's out there busting his ass. He got the right information. He got on track. He's out there freaking busting his ass. He's willing to fail, right? He's probably called here a few times, hadn't gotten through. He's persisted. He stepped up to the plate. He kept swinging. And now he's trying to get in the right vehicle, right? He's like, dude, I want to go where I can learn and make money. Sounds like he's doing everything so far. So, dude, thank you for the call. I appreciate it. Let's go to Miguel from Florida. Miguel dropped out. Let's go to Moses. Moses.
Yo, Jarrod, how you doing, man?
Are you going to get biblical on me?
Hello?
Hello.
Yes. Hi, Jarrod. How you doing, man?
What's going on, man?
Glad to be on your show, man.
Good, man. It's good
Yo,
to have
man,
you.
I have a quick question. I'm 20 years old, I'm starting my real estate career right now.
Uh-huh.
I'm so passionate about real estate, about sales, about helping people.
Good.
The thing is, I'm trying to find a top real estate agent right now who I can start working with. I want to start my real estate career on the beginning, on a strong foundation.
Yep.
So what would be your recommendation on finding a top agent who I can start working with and become a mentee for him?
Yeah, dude, you gotta do some searches. Which area do you live in?
I'm in San Diego right now.
Oh, you live in San Diego? Dude, that's a great market for real estate agents. You just go to Google, man. Go to Google and find
I did my homework, man. So I'm in Rancho Santa Fe right now looking for, top agents. I've been in the offices already. So it's like, all of them in common doesn't have time. That's the thing, If you want to
nobody's going to have time for you, man. They're out there trying to make money. They're out there trying to sell those $10 million Rancho Santa Fe homes. They ain't got no time for you. That's why you got to persist, man.
What would be your recommendations, man?
What's up?
What would be your recommendation for me,
dude?
Man?
You got to freaking persist. You got to get in front of them every day. You got to become something so present to them that they either have to handle you and say, okay, dude, I'll give you 5 minutes, or they freaking call the cops on you.
Yeah,
If you come up with a list of the top 100 agents in the city of San Diego, you can't call each of them once and expect that that's going to do anything.
Absolutely.
Like go back to number one on the show here, dude. You got to freaking bust your ass. Like, you got to do everything you possibly can to be so present and in their face that they're like, okay, this Cat Moses, he's got some power. We need him on our team, man. We need him on our team. And then you got to get your pitch right, because when one of them says, all right, dude, hey, look, you've been calling me every day for the last month. By the way, that's what I did to get the job with Grant. Okay, you've been calling me every single day for the last 30 days. You've got 3 minutes to pitch me on why I should pick you.
Yeah,
60 seconds.
I've been listening to Grant.
60
and
seconds.
One of the cool things that I learned from him is that, you have to tell them, sir, I guarantee you that if you're going to hire me, I'm going to be the best hire that you ever make in your career. And I remember, Jarrod, that you called to Grant that thing, and that worked. So I'm passionate about that. Thank you so much for providing the big value and for sharing the knowledge with us. I appreciate it, man.
Good, man. Thanks for the call. I appreciate that. Laura from Colorado. Hey, Laura.
Hey there.
Hey, how are you?
Good. How are you, Jarrod? Thanks for taking my phone call today.
I'm great. Thanks for calling in.
Yeah, thanks for all the value you're providing out there, and love all of the tips that you're giving. And I have developed a little bit a never give up attitude over the last couple of years. That's also been really helpful to me in reaching my goals.
Good. What do you have a question?
No, just thank you.
Oh, wow.
Thank you, and I wanted
you.
to add that in, never give up. Don't give up on your goals and your dreams. Don't be afraid of taking the chance and failure and the rejection and all of that. That comes with reaching your goals and getting successful in what reaching your goals.
It's the truth, man. If the thing about getting where you want to go, I was just talking with a customer on the phone. And I was saying, there's no way to know how many swings of the axe it's going to take to knock the tree down. So there's no way for you to know. if I put an axe in your hand and put you in front of a tree, there's no way for you to know how many swings it's going to take for the tree to fall down. Your job, if you want to be successful, is to stand up there and keep swinging until the thing falls down without knowing. Because what some people do is some people get up there and they pick the axe up and they say, I'm good for like 25 or 30 swings, and then I'm probably, I'm out. Or you get somebody that swung 50 times and they're like, okay, 5 more. If you even allow yourself to go into that zone of like, okay, this is how much it should take, and you put a boundary up of what you're willing to do before you quit, those are the people that don't quite get far enough down the road in order to actually see the big thing pay off. So, way to go for you sticking in there and making the decision. Keep swinging that axe, folks. It's coming soon. Let's go to Joey from Michigan.
Hello.
What's up, Joey?
Hey, Jarrod. How are you doing today?
Good, man. I'm good.
Awesome. All right. I've got a question. Talking about getting your head right. How old were you when you finally made the decision that you were going to dedicate yourself to success, and what was the event that triggered it?
Okay, so I'll tell you. You got that picture? We're gonna put it up. We're gonna cut to this. Okay, yeah. Put this. I'm gonna show a picture on the screen right now, and So this right here is a picture of my bed for about a year. The 6 months before I came to work for Grant, and then the first 6 months that I was working for Grant, I literally slept on an air mattress. And this is exactly what my room looked like. No furniture, clothes kind of on the floor, no dresser or anything like that. That is where I was at. And so when I got to that point, I was like, I didn't want to crawl back to my parents. I was 25 years old. I was like, I don't want to crawl back to my parents and be like, I failed, I couldn't make it. Because the decision that I had was either go back home and admit defeat and go live with your parents until you can figure it out, or step up to the plate again, take a swing, and see what comes of it. And so I got to a point where the pain of going back and admitting defeat was more than the pain of me going out and trying to do it again and possibly failing. And so at 26 years old, when I finally ended up working for Grant, that's when things changed for me, because I didn't, the stuff that Grant talks about, I wasn't educated like that. Like I grew up in a middle-class family, never wanted for anything, had a nice house, but dude, my parents never operated with like, dude, we're going to freaking make it big. We're going to get rich. We're going to take risks. They just didn't operate like that because that's not how they were raised. And so they were just duplicating what they did, what their parents did. They're just going through and just that's how they were brought up. So that's how they were bringing me up. And so I didn't have that input of, dude, you need to freaking get rich. You need to freaking educate yourself. You need to read. You need to study. You need to get out there. You need to take risks. You need to be seen. You need to freaking get attention. You need to be willing to have people not like you. None of those lessons were things that I were ever taught. And so when I was 26 years old and I came to work for Grant, I learned all of that stuff. I had the people thing. Like I had the ability to talk to people and get along with people. People loved me. But I didn't have the other piece. I didn't have that killer instinct. And I got any deals that I got because I was a good guy, not because I was super persuasive. I've got a lot of energy. I'm fun to be around. And, maybe that's why it was working for me early on, when I was 21, 22 and selling advertising, making money. But later in life, after I got beat up a little bit and was like, I failed a few times and I made some bad decisions and next thing I know, dude, I'm sleeping on a freaking air mattress going like, dude, what happened to my life? So what I want you to take from that is once you make the decision, once you make that decision to say, hey, look, today's the day that I'm changing things, and then tomorrow comes and you're like, I'm going to continue pushing. And then the next day comes, I'm going to continue pushing. And then the next day comes, I'm going to continue. And then you have that axe in your hand and you keep freaking swinging at that tree knowing this thing's going to fall down or my arms are going to fall off. But those are the only two outcomes here. I'm not going to quit. I'm not going to stop. I'm not going to stop persisting. I'm going to continue to swing until I get what I want. And that sort of mindset is where you need to get if you really want to make something out of yourself. And so that's when I made the decision was at 26 years old and I got good information. I got real information. That, dude, you got to be willing to go out and knock on a door cold 150 times to talk to one person. I mean, think about that. That's people don't even operate with that math or with that information. They think that, wow, I should be able to pick up the phone and call somebody. And they should pick up the phone. I mean, that's just how people are raised. Like, dude, you could pick up the phone and call somebody you don't know and they should answer the phone. And then you're like, you do it once and you're like, oh, well, I got a voicemail. Well, let me try somebody else. And then you call again. And then after like 25 calls, you're like, dude, I've left 25 voicemails. I haven't talked to anybody yet. Is this working? Nah, you know what? This isn't for me. Dude, I got guys in there that'll make 150 phone calls in a day and not talk to anybody. So do the right thing. Do the right thing every day. The right thing is to show up and to swing the axe as hard as you can, as many times as you can. And if you do that long enough, the tree falls down. So look, you need to get your head right. You need to get your expectations of what it's going to take for you to get out of your parents' house, for you to get into the job that you want, for you to get the raise or the money that you want to get. You got to get your freaking head right about the work that it's going to take to get there. So number one, you have to prepare to bust your ass. Number two, don't be worried about failing unless you don't plan on learning anything from your failure. Number three, find the right vehicle, find the right company. Not necessarily where you're going to make all the money, but where you can learn something. Learn something from the people that you're around, or go to a company where you can make a ton of money. Those are the only two acceptable options. I'd take a job that's 95% commission-based with a tiny little guarantee over a $50,000 a year salary. Something else. I like people are educated to think, wow, I got to go get a job where I get a $50,000 a year salary. Dude, we guarantee our guys half of that. And then all the upside is commission. And they're making middle six figures. So you gotta understand, like, man, how does this job thing work? Otherwise, you're gonna end up getting paid a $70,000 a year salary, $60,000 a year salary, thinking you're killing it. And you're not gonna go anywhere. You can't even do anything with that. You can barely pay your bills. I was reading an article earlier today before the show. It said a one-bedroom apartment in San Francisco averages $3,100 a month. Yeah. Median income's like 40 grand for an individual. It doesn't even make sense. You can't even afford to live in San Francisco if you're on a median wage. And it's like that in other big cities as well. Maybe not as bad as San Francisco, but like, dude, you got to freaking understand, like, the vehicle that you're in is very important. So am I learning something that's so valuable it's going to be worth millions to me, and that's why I'm taking the haircut here? Or do I got an opportunity to freaking make some big money if I bust my ass and I'm willing to fail? And then the last thing you need to do is education is important, but it's got to be the right kind of education. A forced 4-year curriculum of stuff you have zero interest in may not be the right educational platform for you. Maybe Cardone University is. CardoneUniversity.com, where you can go learn how to make money. Maybe a Sell or Be Sold or one of these books. Maybe that's the preferred method for you to learn and educate yourself. But you have to educate yourself. You have to skill up. People pay you for the skill. They pay you for what you're worth and what you can provide. So like, the fellow was the real estate agent. He wanted to work for the top real estate agent. He's saying to me, he's like, I guarantee you, I'll be the best hire you ever make. But like, what does that mean? Like, people tell me that all the time. It means nothing to me. When somebody says, here's what I can do for you, okay? I can make 250 cold calls a day. Okay, I've done it before. I'm familiar with CRMs. I'm familiar with dialing systems. I'll have higher conversion, first call conversion to appointments than anybody in your office. I know how to follow up. I have a plan that'll get me through 25 days of follow up consistently with the same client. I'm willing to work on the weekends. I'm willing to come in early. I'm willing to stay late. Dude, I will be a killer for you because I know what it takes to actually get a result. You don't need a closer, you need a prospector. You need somebody who can go out and throw a bunch of lines in the water and then bring the fish back in close enough to the boat where somebody can freaking swoop in there with the net and freaking snatch the thing up. So like, those are the conversations you need to have, because everybody's saying the whole thing. I'm a great person. I've got integrity. I'll show up early. I'll stay late. I guarantee I'll be a great hire. But what are you going to do? Get specific, dude. Get so specific that somebody's like, wow, they really thought this out. I guarantee you that every single day I'll make 150 phone calls before 11:30 a.m. And then from 11:30 a.m. to 3:30 in the afternoon, I'm going to go out and I'm going to knock doors or hang flyers or do whatever you need to do, right? Come up with a pitch that's unique and specific that doesn't run through the same track that everybody's been going on. So look, I hope you guys got some good information from this about getting your head right, because once you get your head right, everything changes. If you're stuck in la-la land, still thinking that $60,000 or $70,000 a year job is going to make you happy, you're freaking insane. You're on Mars, because it just doesn't exist anymore. Okay, if you want to do the average thing that everybody else is doing, if you want to stay, if friendships and relationships and recreational time are important to you, you're going to get stuck in the median income job, still trying to figure out how you're going to pay your rent, and then you're going to look at your friend that went all in, and you're going to be going, wow, how'd that work out for him? Dude, I remember when I started working for Grant, everybody's like, dude, you're crazy. Why are you so all in with this thing? I'm like, 5 years later, I'm like, you get it now? But I was willing to torch those friendships to get where I wanted to go. And so I'm not saying you got to do that, but you got to make some freaking decisions. And you got to get your head right. So number one first thing you have to do is what? Dude, you got to freaking bust your ass, man. You got to freaking bust your ass, right? Number 2, be willing to fail. Number 3, get in the right vehicle. And number 4, skill up. And next week, we're going to be back with another opportunity for you to freaking get some great information on how you can skill up and get ahead, because the only people that condemn the hustle are the ones who've already given up on the hustle themselves. We'll see you next week.